Good morning, everyone. Hello again. It's wonderful to see you. How are you doing today? Awesome. That's great. How was your weekend? You saw me? That's so exciting. I did get to see some of you. That's so cool. Yeah, congratulations to all my friends who get a congratulations, right? Yeah, I know. So did you do something special to celebrate this weekend? Yeah, what did you do? Whoa, lots of sweets? That's good. You worked really hard, so you deserve all those sweets, right? Yes. And we did that on Saturday, and yesterday was Sunday, right? So that means today is Monday. Yes, thank you. Today is Monday. We are still in the month of July, right? Tomorrow's Tuesday, by the way. And we know that it is Monday, July 27th, 2020. How many months are in the year, my friends? 12, thank you, 12 months. And today is Monday, so we're gonna do our Pledge of Allegiance. When we do the Pledge of Allegiance, we put our hand over our, wait, that's chest, but what's in my chest? My big heart, right? You put your hand over your heart. So let's put our right hand over our heart and say the Pledge of Allegiance. We can look at the flag. You ready? Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Awesome. So first, let's jump into our reader. Okay? Come on over. Let's do a couple pages of our reader. And then I have a really exciting, fun book we're gonna read today. So do you have your paper to cover your answers? You do? Fantastic. Let's grab a pencil and get started. So let's find the reader page up here where our friends are holding a couple animals. Interesting. So let's read the first one together here. Sam has a tan pig. Or Sam has a pink pig. Well, what are we looking at here? Sam is this boy here. What color is his pig? Pink or tan? Yeah, tan. So let's circle tan. Okay, awesome. And the next sentence says, Anne, you reading this with me? Good. Has a pink pig. So she has a pink pig. What letter are we missing here in pink? What's the beginning sound in pink? Pink, right? P, thank you. A P. That's right. P. Okay, let's look at the next one. Anne has something lips. What color are her lips there? A little bit lighter than red. Pink. They're pink lips. Pink. What letter are we missing here? Pink. It sounds like a E. Sounds like an E. But that's not how we spell pink. Pink, pink. An eye. Yeah, an eye. Pink. Really good. Okay, let's do the next one and then we'll look at the next page. Okay, this man has pink lips. Which one are we going to circle? The one with pink lips. Thank you. So which one? Top or bottom? That's looking a little blue, huh? So this one, yeah. We're going to circle this one. Okay, let's leave this one for you at home. I'm going to turn to the next page of our reader. All right, let's do this first one up top here. Ouch. Okay, first one. With me. Nip sat on Sam's what? On his lip or his lap? You think Nip can sit on his lip? I don't think so. Nip is sitting on Sam's lap. Let's circle lap. And the next sentence says what? Tab sat on Anne's lap. What letter are we missing here in lap? An A. Yes, thank you. Lap. Can you tell me, is the A in lap, is that short or long? Ah. Yeah, that's short. Lap is short. If it was lape, that's long, but it's also not a word that I'm familiar with, at least. Let's look at the next one. Big ouch. Is this why we don't run inside? Yeah, that's why we don't run inside. We don't want to have accidents like this. Let's read the first one. Did Sam trip? Did Sam trip? Yes or no? Yes, it looks like it. Let's circle yes. And the next sentence. Sam hit his lip or lap? What did he hit? His lip. Yeah, he hit his lip. So let's circle lip. I wonder why they put stars there to emphasize the impact. Okay, I think we can finish these at home. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to do a book report together. Are you ready to do that with me? So this is my book report, and this is my book. Are you ready to read this book with me? You are? This book is called Mr. Topsy Turvy by Roger Hargreaves. Are you ready for this? Okay, good. All right, Mr. Topsy Turvy. Here we are. Mr. Topsy Turvy was a funny sort of fellow. Everything about him was either upside down or inside out or back to front. Topsy-turvy, in fact. It was all very extraordinary. What is his hat doing like that? To give you some idea of how topsy-turvy Mr. Topsy-turvy was, you ought to see his house. The front door is upside down to start with, and the curtains hang upside down in the windows. And just look at that chimney. Well, it's all very extraordinary. Inside, it's just the same. Just look at the clock standing on Mr. Topsy-Turvy's mantelpiece. Isn't that the topsiest-turviest clock you've ever seen? Mr. Topsy-Turvy, How are you going to tell time like that? It goes, 1 is over here. It's backwards. And just look at the way Mr. Topsy Turvy reads a book. Not only does he read it upside down, but he starts to read it at the back page. Upside down and backwards. Ay, ay, ay. Look, it's Mr. Bump, though. Amazing. Now, this story is all about the time Mr. Topsy Turvy came to the town where you and I live. Nobody is quite sure how Mr. Topsy Turvy got there or where he came from, but he did arrive because somebody saw him getting off the train. The trouble was, he did it in a topsy-turvy way and got out the wrong side and fell onto the tracks, which really isn't that surprising, is it? When he picked himself up and managed to find his way out of the station, Mr. Topsy Turvy went to a hotel to find a room to spend the night. Where's the handle? The hotel manager tried not to smile when he saw Mr. Topsy Turvy walk into his hotel carrying his suitcase upside down and with his topsy-turvy hat on his head. "Good afternoon, sir," he said. "How can I help you?" Now, something you don't know about Mr. Topsy Turvy is the way he speaks. You see, he sometimes gets things wrong way round. "Afternoon good," said Mr. Topsy Turvy to the hotel manager. "I'd room alike." The manager scratched his head. "You mean you'd like a room?" he asked. "Please, yes," replied Mr. Topsy Turvy. Eventually, the hotel manager managed to work out what Mr. Topsy Turvy was talking about, and he was taken up in the elevator to a bedroom. Then Mr. Topsy Turvy unpacked his suitcase, put on his pajamas, and went to bed. He was rather tired after traveling from wherever he'd come from. The following day, Mr. Topsy Turvy went round the town. But what a fuss his going around the town caused. He took a taxi from the hotel, but so confused the taxi driver trying to tell him where he wanted to go, the poor man drove straight into a traffic light. "Oh dear," said Mr. Topsy Turvy, "I'm so very sorry." Whoops. Then he went into a big department store in the middle of town. He walked up to one of the counters. "I'd like a sock of pears," he said to the lady behind the counter. "You mean a pair of socks?" She smiled and showed him a pair of bright red socks. Mr. Topsy Turvy put them on his hands. What? Then he tried to leave, but being Mr. Topsy Turvy, he tried to walk down the up escalator, and all of the people who were going up the up escalator all fell over themselves. It was a terrible topsy-turvy jumble. Ay, ay, ay. He went to a library and put all the books upside down on the shelves and made everybody extremely angry. Then he went to an art gallery and insisted on hanging all the pictures upside down so that he could look at them properly. Is upside down properly? No. And then Mr. Topsy Turvy had been in town for just one day. After he'd been in town for just one day, he disappeared. Nobody knew how he went or where he went, but he certainly went because he wasn't there anymore. The whole town breathed a sigh of relief. But what the town discovered, even though Mr. Topsy Turvy had left, was that everything was still topsy-turvy. News is here, shouted the newscasters instead of saying, here is the news. Morning good, people started saying to each other when they met. And do you how? Instead of how do you do? Everybody was talking topsy-turvy. Can you think of something to say that's topsy-turvy? Topsy-turvy? Go on and try. What's something you can say topsy-turvy? What about Kismendra? Miss Kendra? Kismendra? That's topsy-turvy. That's silly. Are you guys silly? I know you're silly. Let's do a book report for that book. So, my name is Miss Kendra, right? Or Kismendra. Miss Kendra. And the date is 7/27/20, right? Because it's July 27th, 2020. What's the title of my book? Can you help me? What's the title of my book? Mr. Topsy Turvy. That's right. Mr. Topsy Turvy. And who is the author? It says right here by Roger Hargreaves. So I'm going to put Roger Hargreaves. Roger, R-O-G-E-R. And then Hargreaves is his last name. Hargreaves. Okay, and my favorite word. I'm trying to think. What was my favorite word? I'm thinking, there's lots of words in here. What's one that really caught my attention? How about, I like this word, extraordinary. What is extraordinary? I'm going to write that on the line, extraordinary. Well, extraordinary means that it is just so much better and bigger than normally. It's extraordinary, right? You can have a beautiful day, and then you can have an extraordinary beautiful day. That's extra, super beautiful. So here's a drawing of one of my favorite parts of the book. I'm thinking, what is something I remember in the book? I remember that his hat is always upside down. So I'm going to draw a picture of him with his hat upside down. And luckily, it's very simple characters. That's an I. And this is his upside down hat. Awesome. Should we give him some color? I remember his hat was like a yellow. And the rest of him was a reddish orange color. Alrighty. Here's my Mr. Topsy Turvy and his upside down hat. So that's my book report. Did you enjoy that book? Yeah, it was a little bit silly. I know. That's so cool. Okay, let's stand up. Let's come on over to take a look at some math. All right? Thank you. Come on over. We have some more review that we're doing today. And first, we're going to be doing some addition. So let's sit down and do some addition. All right, I'm going to put my name up top. Miss Kendra. A date. So let's take a look at these here. We've got some pretty big numbers here. Let's look at number 1. Number 1, we're adding what numbers together? 61 and 24. So 61 plus 24. So first, what are we going to do? The ones, right? So let's add these together. 1 and 4. What is that? Thank you. 5. And then 6 plus 2. What is that? Yeah. 8. So what do we know? 61 plus 24 equals 85. Awesome. Let's do number 2. What is number 2? 41, good, plus 42. Okay. Let's see here. What are we going to add together first? Yeah, 1 plus 2. And what is that? 3. Awesome. And next? 8. Yeah, 4 plus 4 is 8. So what is 41 plus 42? 83. Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's take a look at 2 more on this page, and then we're going to jump to the next math worksheet. I know you guys are really awesome at doing your addition. So how about number 12? 81 plus 15. 81 plus 15. What is 1 plus 5? 6. Awesome. And what is 8 plus 1? 9. Yeah, 9. So 81 plus 15 equals 96. Yeah. What if we make another one? What about 81 minus 15? Can we have 81 minus 15? Okay, so can you tell me what do we have to do here? Because we cannot take 5 from 1, right? What do we have to do to this 8? We're going to have to open up a 10, right? So we're going to take a 10 from here, which means this is a 7. And we're going to bring it over here, which means we have 11. Because we only have 1 there. Ready? What's 11 minus 5? 11 minus 5. So now we have a 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Okay, here is 81. And we want to minus 15. So we need to open one of these up, right? We opened one up. Now we have 7 tens, and we need 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we have 7 tens and 10, 11 ones. Now 11 minus 5 is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are gone. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 11 minus 5 is 6. And 7 minus 1? 6. 81 minus 15 is 66. And 81 plus 15 is 96. You guys can make some of these subtraction problems like this if you want to. Yeah, you can do that. That's awesome practice, especially if you feel like challenging yourself. That's a good idea. Our next math worksheet is some multiplication. I'm really excited we get to do this again. So let's write our name up top. Okay. count and write each multiplication statement. So we need to look really closely at these pictures. Okay, I have 2 vases, right? But how many flowers are in each vase? So I have 2 vases. So we can write 2 on the line here. Maybe not. The 2 goes after. I'm gonna get an eraser for myself. My pencil is without one. So my 2 is gonna go over here because I'm timesing by 2. I have this 2 times. How many flowers do you see in there? It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 flowers. So the first number on the line will be 4. And how many times do we have 4 flowers? 1, 2. So we have 4 2 times. 4 times 2. So how many flowers do we have now? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when we have 4 2 times, we have 8 altogether. And here, how many balloons are on each bow? 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 balloons. How many times do we have 3 balloons? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 3 balloons times 4. We can put our 4 here. Okay, and now how many balloons do we have all together? 3 balloons 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now we have 12 balloons because we had 3 4 times, right? 3 2 times is 6. 4 times, we counted all the way to 12. Now, if you can see in here, there's how many birds in each cage? 2. Yeah, there's 2 birds in each cage. And how many times do we have 2 birds? 3. 2 times 3. Now, how many birds do we have all together? 1, 2, you're counting with me? 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. So we have 2 birds, 1, 2, 3 times, which means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 birds all together. Awesome. Let's do number 4. How many books do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books. 5 books. How many times do we have 5 books? 2. 5 times 2. How many books do we have all together? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. And we can see we have 5 and 5. That's like 5 plus 5, right? That's 5 2 times, right? And this is like 2 plus 2 plus 2, because we have 2, 1, 2, 3 times. This equals 6 too, right? And 10. Okay, let's look at number 5. We have how many mushrooms on each patch of grass? 1, 2, right, 3 mushrooms. How many patches? 3, you got it. So 3 times 3, that's like 3 plus 3 plus 3. 1, 2, 3 times, right? Okay, so how many mushrooms do we have altogether? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. Excellent. 9 altogether. All right, you guys. We can keep practicing our multiplication. We're going to get better and better and faster at this. So before we jump over to our next worksheet, let's sing our school bus driver song. We can do it sitting down. You want to sit down with me? Okay, so when we sing in this song, we're going to do some moving. All right, let's sing it together. School bus driver. 1, 2, 3. The school bus driver drives the bus, drives the bus, drives the bus. The school bus driver drives the bus to take the kids to school. The driver needs to watch the road, watch the road, watch the road. The driver needs to watch the road to take the kids to school. The driver needs to listen up, listen up, listen up. The driver needs to listen up to take the kids to school. You can help by sitting still, sitting still, sitting still. You can help by sitting still. This will help the bus driver take the kids to school. Awesome. Thanks for singing with me. This week, well, last week, we learned a lot about the heart and the circulatory system, right? The heart would pump and pump and pump what? Blood. Thank you. Everywhere in our body. And why did we need the blood to go everywhere in our body? It was bringing the oxygen. It was bringing the oxygen, right? How did it get that oxygen? How did the blood get that oxygen? You remember? It went to the heart and it went to the lungs to pick up oxygen, right? The lungs. This week, we're going to be talking about your lungs and your respiratory system, your breathing system. Another very important part of the body, right? Yeah, so your lungs are where? Where's your lungs? With your brain? In your knees? In your chest, right? The lungs are in our chest. And they are connected to the heart, right? So you have 2 lungs. You have one on the right side of your body and one on the left side of your body. And the one on the left side of your body is a little bit smaller because it has to make room for your heart there next to it. So our right lung is always a little bit bigger than our left lung because our left lung is making some room for our heart. Remember that our heart is right on top of those lungs because that's where we get the oxygen, right? So how do we get that oxygen inside those lungs? How do we get it inside there? we breathe, right? And when we breathe, we open up our chest, it gets a little bigger. And when we let it out, it goes back down, gets a little smaller, right? Yeah, really cool. All right, so let's stand up and take a look at our worksheet, because that has a lot of different parts of our respiratory system. So, we do our breathing from our what? You can breathe with your mouth and with your nose, right? So I'm going to write my name up top there. Okie dokie. And the date. So, here, we can color this later. Let's label these parts. So first, what is that one pointing at? Yeah, that's the nose. So let's write nose here. Nose. Fantastic. And now, the next word that I see is trachea. Can you guys say trachea? Good, trachea. And that is the tube that goes from your mouth or throat all the way down to your lungs or your bronchus, your bronchi. So this is your nose, and you see this tube here goes all the way. When you breathe in, the air goes down that tube. That tube is called the trachea. This word here, we finished that one. Now we're doing trachea. Let's write trachea over here. Trachea. The trachea is that tube the air flows down through. Amazing. And we have 2 lungs and only 1 trachea. So to get the air into each lung, it has to split off, right? To own tubes. Tube to the left, tube to the right. Those tubes are called the bronchus. The bronchus. And those lead to each lung. We have one this way and one this way, right? This line is pointing to the bronchus. Let's write bronchus. B-R-O-N-C-H-U-S. Bronchus. You said that with me? Bronchus. It's a funny one. Okie dokie. Next word is the larynx. Larynx. That's a funny one too. This one is at the top of the trachea, all the way at the top. And the larynx is also called like a voice box. This is where our voice comes from, right? Miss Kendra sounds different than you. And you sound different than Mom. And Mom sounds different than Miss Kendra. Because we all have our own voice. Our own voice box. Our larynx is what makes those sounds. L-A-R-Y-N-X. Larynx. And we breathe into our lung, right? So this is a lung on this side, and this is also the lung, right? 1 lung, 2 lung. What color are your lungs? In your body, what color are they? Your brain is like a pink color, and your heart is like a red. The lungs are also a pink color, and they're kind of squishy, like a sponge, because they take in the air and then they go back down. It's amazing. Underneath our lungs is a muscle called the diaphragm. That's right here. And when we breathe in, it gets bigger so we can open up our lungs. And then when we breathe out, it gets smaller again. That's right under our lungs. That's going to help us breathe. Diaphragm. let's write that here at the line. Diaphragm. All right. Amazing. You guys, great job today. Okay. Don't forget to use your diaphragm and keep breathing today, right? Yeah, and when we breathe, we're bringing in our oxygen and it's going to our heart, and then it's going through all of our arteries and veins, getting it to our body. Yeah? Awesome. So today's a beautiful day. Go ahead, get outside, enjoy the beautiful day, get your exercise, drink your water, eat your healthy food, get your sleep. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.